listening to the TCB Radio Network.
Hello, friends. This is Elvis Presley.
I am Marion Cox, the official sex symbol on TCB Radio Network.
This is Mindy Miller.
This is Ray Walker from the Jordanaires.
This is Elvis's Speedway co-star Victoria Paige Myrie.
This is Cynthia Pepper from Kissing Cousins.
This is Zoe Botto, author of Elvis Style, from Suit Suits to Jumpsuits.
This is Don Wilson. And if you're looking for Elvis, you're in the right place. TCB Radio Network.
Where it's all about Elvis.
Everything is about Elvis. It is all about Elvis.
All Elvis, all the time.
If you want to listen to something really stylish, listen to tcbradionetwork.com.
You can't do any better than that, so stay with us.
People who know Elvis know about TCB Radio Network, where it's all Elvis, all the time.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Hello, Elvis fans. This is co-host of TCB Radio Network, Peter Alden. We are so excited to bring you this fantastic interview with Elvis's stepbrother, Billy Stanley. Now, you may notice that the sound on this one is a little different than we have had on previous interviews. The reason for that is because the interview is taken from a live video interview we did with Billy in Memphis during Elvis Week 2019. If you would like to see the video interview with Billy, please visit our YouTube channel for the TCB Radio Network podcast. We encourage you to do this so that you can really get the full experience of what it was like to hear touching stories from this man in person, who was so very close to Elvis. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the interview.
Hi, it's me, Krista. I'm here behind the camera, and I'm here with the fantastic, none other, the stepbrother of Elvis, Mr. Billy Stanley. So excited to meet you in person today. This is our first time. Very good. So you're here today at John Daly's show, right?
Right.
And do you know, like, he's going to be here the rest of the week? Is that right?
All week long. I'm going to be Billy Stallings' assistant all week.
Oh, okay. All right. Billy Stallings, the spa guy. He's over there.
Yeah, he's over there.
He's over there. So, Billy, let's get started. You said something really profound to me in the lobby that I never even thought about before. I asked you how many Elvis Weeks you've been to, and you said only about 7.
Right.
And there was a reason for that. Will you share with everybody why you haven't been involved in Elvis Week all these years?
Yeah, well, a lot of people come, the fans come and celebrate. You know, it's a celebration for them. But this is a time for me that's really difficult in my life because every year I relive it. Elvis is passing away. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit more difficult for me than most people.
It's totally understandable and something I never even thought about. That when you're a close personal friend, family member, this isn't a joyous time. You know, we all have people we've lost, and we're really sad on that day when it comes back around. So so tell me about August 14th as well, because I know that's a hard day as well. What happened on that day?
August 14th is really special for me because that was the last time Elvis and I really had a conversation. And it was kind of unusual because in that conversation, he was actually going deeper in some of the things that we talked about, like, you know, love and the future and, you know, just some of the subjects that caught me off guard. It was like, wow, he's really opening up today. And so we sat and talked for almost 2.5 hours.
Really?
Uh-huh. And then, you know, when I was leaving, usually when we'd leave or something, I'd say, okay, bye, Elvis, I'll see you later. And we'd say, I love you, and I'd give him a hug. And I was walking downstairs, still kind of in shock with the conversation. It was just like, wow, you know, he really opened up today. And then he said, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And on my way home, I thought, oh man, I forgot to give him a hug, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, that's okay. I'll see him on the 16th. And I did.
What were your plans for the 16th? What were you gonna be doing with him that day?
I was getting off work early. I'd quit working for Elvis some time, and I was working at the airport as an assistant jet mechanic. So I'd already planned it with my boss that I was going to get off early and help my brothers Rick and David help Elvis get ready for tour. So that's what I was doing.
Okay.
And I just got off work, and I'd stopped to get a Coke on the way to the estate, and that's when I heard the news.
Mm-hmm. So you started coming back about 7 years ago for Elvis Week.
Well, it's 42 years. I've been 7 times in the 42 years.
Okay, so they weren't right in a row. They were spread out. Because you have other obligations. You have work and things
Well,
as well.
I'm retired now.
Now you're...
forced retirement.
Now it's a party all the time now. Right?
No.
So tell everybody why you came back. Why do you come to Elvis Week now? What do you want people to remember about Elvis?
How great he really was. I want people to understand that the person they saw on screen was not that much different than what he was really like in real life. Elvis wasn't acting when he was up there. That was just him. That's the way he was. Mm-hmm. So, but he was a great guy. He was my hero. And I want to give back, I want to give the fans back their hero because there's been so much said about him since he's passed away, and it's just like, okay, it's enough, and it's enough. Okay, let's remember this guy as what he really was, a great positive influence on a lot of people, and especially my life. From the time I was 7 till I was 24, he influenced my life.
It's amazing. Well, I want to thank you on behalf of the fans because there's less and less people that have that first person account that were actually with him and breathe the same air at the same time and things like that. So thank you for coming out.
Well, yeah, and another reason I'm here is just I'm here for Elvis because I'm wanting him. I'm kind of going, okay, let Elvis through my eyes. Okay, you see what everything is happening around here, Elvis? And you thought they was going to forget about you.
Right.
Guess what? They did.
Not at all. Not at all. So tell me about your project. I heard you got a movie or something you're working on.
Yeah. Billy Stallings here, and my director is coming in town this week. Kevin Dale McAfee. He's on Facebook, and we're doing a positive portrayal of what it was like growing up with Elvis as your brother. That's what they're going to see.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
We have a note from Elaine in the UK. She says, hello, Billy and Billy.
Hey, Elaine.
From Elaine in the UK, she said she totally gets that. We relive where we were that day, devastating for all involved. Lots of love to you and cannot thank you both enough for all these memories. How about that? Live from the UK. Thank you, Elaine. She put a little bunch of broken hearts. Hi, Pam. Hi, Anna. Hi, Christine. Christine's watching from Inverness, Scotland. And she said, thank you for all your stories, and she sends kisses to you. Sounds pretty good.
Okay.
So with the movie that you're working on, do you guys have any idea like when that'll be coming out, and where's it going to be available to people?
It's going to be in theaters.
Wow.
We're doing, This is a major motion picture we're working on.
Excellent.
I had to get Billy involved in it because
he's the best.
One of the people that helped keep Elvis's memory alive, he's probably one of the best.
Yes, I agree.
Outside of Elvis' circle, but I say he's inside the circle now. He's like family now. So
absolutely, the history is amazing, and he gets so detailed in all the videos. I was telling him just a minute ago that you guys that have been following along, we've been all over Memphis interviewing so many people, and your name comes up all the time. Billy Stallings said this and this and about the history, so I think that, or they just call you Spa Guy, and so your name comes up, and all the hard work you've done is really gotten out there, and we really appreciate it. Most
people that come up to me during this Elvis Week, I saw you, Billy Stallings.
Guilty by association. He's over there blushing.
So it's not so much Elvis' stepbrother anymore. Billy Stallings.
Yourself wanted me to say hello to you from Texas. And Joanne on the line that says, hi. Mary McDonald says, Billy, you are so precious to do this.
Thank you.
Deb Roy wants to know if you ever see Lisa Marie.
I haven't seen Lisa Marie since Vernon's funeral. That was the last time I saw her.
There you go. And Sissy says she's so proud of both Billy Stanley and Billy Stallings, the Spa Guy. All the Billys are great people. She says, I just said that earlier. We have a lot of Billys here.
Yes.
Dory says, hi, Billy from Northport, Florida. Ariel says, hey, always enjoy your stories.
Thank you.
Joseph McClellan says, thank you for your friendship stories and making the movie about your brother Elvis.
Well, and since we're talking about stories, I just saw one on my memories that I shared a few years ago. This is one of my favorites. One day I was sitting there at Graceland in the den, which is everybody calls the jungle room, watching TV, And Elvis comes downstairs. Let's take a ride, Billy. Okay. So I said, let me go get your wallet. So I had to run upstairs to his bedroom, get his wallet, and I put it in my briefcase, and we took off for a ride. We was down around Beale Street, and he was showing me some of the churches that he used to sneak into so he could, watch some of the gospel groups. And as we were driving around, there was a guy, I don't know if he was homeless, but he looked like he was definitely down on his luck. So Elvis saw the guy, and we went past him, and he said, give me my wallet. Okay, and he made a U-turn. And so I figured, okay, I know what he's going to do. So I open it up, and I take his wallet. Now, you got to understand, Elvis's wallet had so much money in it, you couldn't fold it. So I just said, how much do you want? He said, all of it. Oh, okay, so I took it out, handed it to him. He stuck it down between his legs as we pulled up to the gentleman, and he rolled the window down. And the guy kind of looked at us. He said, oh, Mr. Presley. And he said, no, please call me Elvis. He said, man, I bought all your records and, I've seen all your movies. He said, I'm your biggest fan and stuff like that. And Elvis said, well, what are you doing today? He said, oh, I'm on my way down to the unemployment office. I'm kind of going through a bad stretch right now, but, things will turn around. And Elvis said, yes, sir. He said, well, it's going to turn around today. And the gentleman just kind of looked at Elvis like, he takes the money and hands it to him. And the gentleman was going, no, sir, I can't take that, Mr. Presley. He said, no, I told you to call me Elvis. So he said, okay, Elvis. He said, I can't do that. He said, like I said, I'm just going through a rough spell. He said, well, this is going to help you out. Plus, it's my way of repaying you for seeing all those silly movies and listening to all my records. And just as we was about to leave, the guy said, God bless you, Mr. Presley. He said, sir, he already has. I start crying as we go away. I just go,
yeah,
Elvis. And he started crying a little bit. And I just said, I can't believe what you just did. He said, Billy, what's the use of having anything if you can't share it with others?
Wow.
That was it. Oh.
It's a great story. And you hear the stories about him being so generous, but to be there must have been just, I can't even imagine. Incredible.
Oh, I've seen him give cars to total strangers. And, even his jewelry. He'd be talking to a fan, and the fan go, wow, that's a nice ring. Oh, you like that? Here you go. Wow.
Unbelievable.
He was a giver. He truly loved people. And I think that's what come across, what everybody saw in him. That's why his following, it's even getting bigger today. That they see that there was one person in this world that really did love and care for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that was him.
It's incredible. For every single person we talk to, from his prom date to one of his last girlfriends, the thread with everybody that they want to share, the people that were closest to him knew him the best. Just what a generous, kind, wonderful man he was. Beyond the legend, beyond the rock star, the entertainer. Right. And they all say something like what you just said. It's incredible. We even talked to a biographer who just came out with a book about Elvis in Vegas. Zogland is his last name. He's on the panel. Anyway, we did a podcast with him. He doesn't even really know anything about when he started the book, it wasn't going to be about Elvis. It was going to be about Vegas. And he's like, the more I learned, everybody, he was such a huge part of, Vegas and the nightlife and all of that. Right. He said, and the other thing that surprised me, this is a Simon & Schuster author. He's a New York Times editor. A Time Magazine entertainment editor, I should say it right. He said that he's interviewed tons of people. He wrote a huge biography about Bob Hope. Nobody that he talked to about Elvis, not one person had a bad thing to say. And he's not biased. He wasn't coming at it as an Elvis fan, but he was like, I was shocked.
And now he's become an Elvis fan.
And now he's joined the legions of fans. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Graceland's got him on stage talking about Elvis now. Yeah. Elaine, I think she's from Europe because of the way she typed this out. She said, that's brilliant news about the film. I have goosebumps. And I hope to meet Billy sometime, and we'll see Spa Guy in January. Elaine Leach, that must be somebody you know.
I'll be here with him. So.
He'll be here, that's right.
Yeah.
Nancy Wright has a question for you about you. She wants to know, what do you do for a living now besides the movie that you have going on?
I got forced into an early retirement. Last year in May 20th, I suffered a heart attack, stroke, and seizure. I died.
No.
And I saw heaven for about they said I was dead for about 5 or 6 minutes. I saw Elvis in heaven, and he said, "Tell everybody that he loves and misses everybody, and can't wait to see him when they get there."
Oh my God, stop.
And then God told me when I was leaving, I guess it wasn't my turn to go. Said, "Just tell everybody, no doubt, no fear."
Wow.
No doubt means no doubt there is a heaven, and no fear. This is where you go if you believe in the Word of God.
Wow. I'm crying now.
That's good news.
Yeah. Ask him what Bill hands are.
And we have music playing in the background.
Yeah.
You planned that, didn't you?
I don't know. No, it was in the first.
Pam Lawler wants to know, Billy, when you're at Graceland, does it feel surreal?
I still feel Elvis's presence there. Because when I walk in, it's all these different memories come flooding back to me from each different room. So, yeah, I feel him there. It's almost like a dream now. I mean, it's been 42 years, and like I said, it felt like a dream.
Okay, so Bob Collins says, "Good to see you, Billy."
Thanks, Bob.
Debbie wants to know if Elvis ever mentioned Dixie Locke. That's kind of a random question.
No, I mean, in the conversation that he and I had, when we was talking about love, he said that he had only fell in love twice in his whole life. He said, "Whatever you do, don't mess it up like I did." I said, "Okay, I'll try not to."
Are you going to reveal who the two loves are? Which two was it? Okay. Wow, two loves, and he didn't say who they were.
And I was about to guess, and he said, "You don't even try to guess because you'll never guess who they were."
Oh my goodness.
So that stopped me from saying it right then. So.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Debbie, I want to tell you that we interviewed Dixie Locke. If you go to tcbradionetwork.com, you'll find our full interview with her. I know she's kind of hard to get. She's hard to reach, so we're really blessed that we have an interview with her. Vita says, "Hi, Billy, from NL, Canada." Marie says, "Hi from Scotland." Let's see, who else? Chris, "Hi, Billy. I met you back in 2012 with Sharon O'Brien and Veronica and me from the UK.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks for all your brilliant stories that you share with us." Trudy says, "It was a great story. I hope the movie will be available in Canada."
It's going to be everywhere. So.
All over the world.
Well, anywhere there's a movie theater, that's pretty much where it's going to be.
That is so exciting. Bert Peters, "Billy, did Elvis know that Colonel Parker came from the Netherlands?"
I'm sure he did. I mean, they had a pretty close relationship. I mean,
and he had a heavy accent. So
yeah.
It's like you know that he's from somewhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he probably guessed it.
I'm sure he knew. I mean, I'm not sure if he knew about him being a, illegal alien or whatever that is. Well, he was from around here.
Do you have any Elvis Colonel Parker stories?
Not that I'd want to share. I will say this: he was on his way out. In 1977.
Yes, we've heard that. We've heard that from Larry Geller also, that he was planning on trimming the fat.
And everybody knows who the next person up in line was. I mean, he passed away not too long ago. Jerry Weintraub.
Wow.
Because Jerry came to him and said, "I can get you 10 dates at, what is that, Wembley Stadium." And Elvis said, "Really?" And because that's what Elvis wanted to do. He even had Lamar fight looking for another plane because the Lisa Marie, they wouldn't let it fly over there because of the emissions that the engines put out.
Right.
So he was looking at, it was called a BAC, BAC 111. It's a 3-engine jet that he was going to purchase just for the worldwide tour.
Wow.
So
cool. Kim Matthews Akers says, "Billy, you need to do a book about going to heaven. There's another project. You let him finish the one he's on, right?"
they can go to Hound Dog Racing. Let's
talk about that. Yeah, that's cool.
On YouTube, and there's the video there. It's about 6-7 minutes long about me going to heaven and what it's like.
Okay.
So
Billy's into this thing called internet racing. I guess I lived under a rock. I didn't know anything about this. Tell him about the iRacing. It really makes you light up, and I know you're excited about it.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, this is one of the things that Elvis and I talked about on August 14th was my racing career. He said, don't worry, someday it'll happen. Well, last year it started. So I am a professional racer. I have a sponsor, which is Performance Distributors here locally in Memphis. And I race against people around the world on the internet. It's on the iRacing site. And I started hound dog racing it's a rock and roll tribute to Elvis.
Wow.
He's the king of rock, and I'm the self-proclaimed king of roll on iRacing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. So there you go, iRacing. And people can find you on YouTube with that?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, Hound Dog Racing, and then I've got a Facebook page, Hound Dog Racing, there too.
Okay. We had somebody ask, and I know you can only speculate, you can't speak for Elvis, but they're asking what you think he'd be doing with his career, what he might have done next.
Probably producing and directing movies.
Wow.
You know, he would have probably, if he'd have gone on a little bit further, he probably wanted to get into some more dramatic roles, but he really loved the whole aspect of producing and directing too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd have been great. I mean, he wanted to do some parts like Dirty Harry because, you know, he thought those were great movies, and I could see Elvis doing that. He was very passable as a Dirty Harry type character.
Yeah.
You know?
He should have been doing that.
Exactly.
He looked great with a beard.
Yeah.
He really did.
Sandy wants to know, did Vernon ever adopt you boys? Just curious.
Okay, in 1960, I'd say about a month or two after we'd been living there, my brothers and I were playing with us in the backyard. And Vernon, which Elvis told us to start calling him Daddy after my mom and dad got married, or Vernon used to have to play football. He said, you boys just keep playing. He said, I'll be right back. So, from us, but we didn't really pay any attention until we heard Elvis said very loudly, I know what it takes, Daddy. I want this done. So I can. So he goes back in and comes back. That's when he told Elvis that, you know, they were talking with my dad. I found this out later on, that he was talking to my dad and my dad said, well, you've taken my sons. I want to keep their last name, please. So Elvis respected his wishes, but then he told us that, you know, I did everything I could, boys. He said, because you guys are my brothers, and I want you to have the same last name as I do.
That's great. Kim is here, and she says, I had a great story to tell Rick. I was at an Elvis concert, May 28th, 1977, and my sister thought that Rick was someone else, so she was calling for Eric and Rick to come over and said he was Elvis's stepbrother. But I was only 14, didn't know Elvis had a stepbrother then. So 35 years later, when I met Rick and told him the story, and Rick said, oh, I was teenage then. He said, oh, so was I. I think that's what she means, okay? All right. So that's more of a statement than a question.
Yeah, we were pretty young. So, I mean, he took all three of us out of high school. And that was quite a feat in itself because my mom was, but Elvis, I want him to go to college and be doctors and lawyers. And he said, I've got doctors and lawyers working for me. He said they're going to get a better education with me anyway. So and he was right, you know.
Randy wants to know if Jerry Presley and Branson is really related to Elvis.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, we don't know. Dave Rogers, Billy, tell everyone about the allowance that Elvis gave you and your brothers.
One time I was around 15 or 16 years old, and all the kids at school, I mean, in Whitehaven, this was a well-to-do area, part of town back in the day, and everybody was getting allowances. So I remember going and asking, you know, Daddy, can I get an allowance? And he said, what's that? Well, you know, everybody else gets $1, $5 a week, you know, for, you know, I don't know, for an allowance. And he said, no. So he buys me a push mower and a can and said, there's your allowance. He said, you can go out and, mow yards around the neighborhood, which I did. And one time I was telling Elvis about it, because he said, what's wrong? I said, well, I asked Daddy for an allowance, and immediately he broke out like, he said, what did he say? He said, no, there's no allowance around here. And he said, what did he do? I said, he bought me a mower. And so he started laughing. He said, well, that's the same way, Daddy. Daddy's always been that way. He said, I asked him for it once, and even when I was getting started, he said, well, I never heard of a guitar player making any money, so, So he said, I tell you what, he said, let's go in to Daddy's office. So I walked with him. We go into the office, and Daddy just says, yeah, can I help you? And he said, yeah, I want you to put Billy, Ricky, and David on the patio. And Vernon said, for what? He said, well, Billy is going to wash my cars twice a week. I was, okay, how much are we going to pay him? And Elvis said, $100 a week. What? $100? Vernon stood up and had a fit. And he said, $100 a week? And Elvis said, yeah. He said, I was going to do $250, but I thought it might kill you, so that's why I'm saying $100 a week. Daddy said, okay. And so that was the beginning. And so I started working for Elvis. I got a thing from the IRS. I started working when I was 16, and it says EP Enterprises. So
wow, you were on the payroll.
Yeah, 16.
Beverly has a great question. We'll cut off here because we could have you here all day. But Beverly says, what was the best thing about living at Graceland?
The best thing?
Yeah, or maybe your favorite thing.
Just being around Elvis, but I mean, to me, back in the day, the best thing was Alberta's breakfast. Oh man!
What a great answer. Okay.
She had, it was always eggs, bacon or sausage, and then we'd have biscuits with either white gravy or Cairo syrup on it. Mm. And I mean, it was, I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Going to school in a pink Cadillac, that was cool.
Now, when you drive by and you can say, that used to be my house, I think that would be kind of cool.
I do.
Awesome. And do you still go upstairs, or would you want to go upstairs, or?
I really wouldn't want to myself because that's a little bit too morbid for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I already feel it because as soon as you walk in the front door, right up, if you look upstairs, that's where he passed away.
Yeah.
I don't want to go upstairs.
Yeah, right. It's too close to home. Yeah. Too close to home. Okay, one more. Sandy wants to know, do you have kids?
Yes. Got a daughter named Brooke. She was born on July 6th, so I call her my little firecracker. So.
Oh, that's
She's
awesome.
my angel.
That's awesome. Well, I cannot thank you enough for your time and talking with us today. And
yeah, my pleasure.
Let me just tell you, I'll turn around this way. Billy is precious. Let me see if I can. I'm real professional. I'm like spa guy. He's way better. But he just shares from his heart. What a great guy. I'm so honored that I got to meet you today and talk to you. And I want to tell everybody, we'll have him on again because I know you have tons and tons of questions. So hopefully we'll come back and do a live video, and definitely he'll call in for the podcast. So if you want to keep leaving your questions for me, I'll get them later.
Sure.
You can also email them to me, tcbradionetwork@gmail.com, and I'll write them down when we do your recorded interview over the phone. We'll ask them on your behalf at that time as well. So keep on sending them. Thank y'all for watching and sharing. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to our show today. Don't forget to subscribe to TCB Radio Network on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast platform. By subscribing, you'll get a notification as soon as our latest episode drops. While you're at it, please rate us with a 5-star review. This will help other Elvis fans find our show. Also, this just in, you can now subscribe to our podcast episodes on YouTube. We also have a YouTube channel that includes archived episodes of our Facebook Live broadcasts and more. You can find links to this and so much more at tcbradionetwork.com.
TCB Radio Network is strictly a fan publication, not affiliated in any way with Elvis Presley Enterprises or any of its affiliates or subsidiaries. Please visit us online at tcbradionetwork.com. All trademarks, product names, company names, and logos mentioned are the properties of their respective owners. All opinions stated within do not necessarily reflect the opinions of anyone else, and certainly not Elvis Presley Enterprises.
Still the King, our theme song for TCB Radio Network podcast, was written by Shane Douglas, produced by Terry Fullwider at Blue Spot Studios, and performed by Peter Alden and his band Crown Electric Company, featuring David Fontana, son of Elvis Presley's original drummer DJ Fontana, on drums.
Elvis Presley is still the king. Well, he's still the king. That's alright. Man, he sure could sing. That's alright. Still the king. That's alright.